Welcome back to our channel where today we dive deep into the incredible world of valuable coins hiding in pockets, drawers, and old jars around the world, and in this unbelievable journey we uncover the shocking truth behind how an ordinary-looking 1970 mint-marked D1 cent USA coin surprisingly reached a jaw-dropping value of $21 million because of its rare errors, minting mistakes, historical background, and the mysterious circumstances that transformed it from a simple 1-cent piece to a national treasure worth big money. And as collectors, historians, experts, and enthusiasts have analyzed every curve, strike, and flaw of this astonishing coin, the value has soared beyond imagination, and today we explore every possibility, every speculation, and every tiny detail that contributed to the massive worth of this 1970 D penny, which has shocked the coin collecting community across the world, leaving many people searching their change with a renewed passion and excitement, hoping that they too might be holding the next life-changing treasure. Because it is not just the age of the coin that makes it valuable, it is the story, the craftsmanship, the mistakes, and the rarity that give birth to such astronomical value. And the 1970 D1 cent coin is the perfect example of how a simple flaw can become a fortune. Minted at the Denver Mint in a year filled with transition, technological limitations, and human-operated equipment, this coin experienced a series of unexpected errors that escaped detection and circulated into the public market, creating one of the rarest surviving error coins in the history of United States minting. As we explore the first major error that contributes to its value, the double die obverse, which means the front side design was accidentally struck twice but slightly misaligned, causing features like the date, Liberty, and the profile of Abraham Lincoln to appear doubled when viewed under magnification, a highly sought after and exceptionally rare type of minting mistake cherished by collectors because it visually proves the coin was uniquely created through an unintended process. This doubling can be noticeable in the curvature of numbers, especially the 1 and 9 of the date 1970, which appears slightly shadowed, making seasoned collectors instantly recognize the potential hidden worth. Similarly, on Liberty, some letters appear thicker on one side, giving the word a ghost-like effect that is both eerie and fascinating to study. And even the motto, "In God We Trust," reveals trace evidence of this double striking, which increases desirability because very few coins with such clear and well-preserved doubling survived circulation long enough to remain collectible in high-grade condition. Another crucial factor adding value to this coin is a rare off-center strike, a situation where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned with the striking dies, resulting in the design being displaced, sometimes visibly shifted, leaving part of the surface blank, which creates a striking visual offset that no collector can resist, because it demonstrates right away that the coin is undeniably a factory mistake. And the greater the percentage of off-center shift, the higher its value, especially when the date remains fully visible, which ensures authenticity and allows collectors to verify its year of production. This combination of off-center strike and double die is already an extremely unique pairing, but the mystery deepens further when experts discovered micro-imperfections across the rim, suggesting the possibility of a triple strike or restrike error, meaning the coin could have been struck more than twice but with such subtle alignment variations that only high-powered microscopy can confirm, fully creating a realm of speculation that collectors thrive on because each theory adds layers of rarity and lore that help drive value to astronomical heights. And when a coin has a story that cannot be told with certainty, its value often grows because the unknown becomes part of its attraction, keeping curiosity alive in the market and sparking debates among enthusiasts who are willing to pay massive prices to own a piece of unresolved minting history. As if these errors were not enough, the surface of the 1970 D penny reveals inconsistencies in the metal composition caused by material transition errors at the mint, since this was a period where leftover planchets from previous batches sometimes entered the production line, making it possible that this penny may have been struck on a transitional planchet with abnormal proportions of copper and zinc, altering weight and color slightly enough for expert graders to take notice. And this anomaly suggests that there may have been only a handful of these composition error coins released, making it even rarer because transitional errors typically occur when new metal compositions are introduced or old stock is not fully cleared, resulting in hybrid coins that should not officially exist. And when something is not meant to exist, collectors pay fortunes to own it, especially when the evidence shows a one-of-a-kind minting phenomenon, and this leads us into the riveting speculation that some 1970 pennies may have been struck on leftover 1960s proof planchets, giving them a subtly smoother mirror-like finish, generating even more confusion and excitement in the collecting world, because the very idea that a circulation penny could have a proof planchet origin adds immense historical value and sparks intense bidding wars and auctions where wealthy collectors compete to own such an enigmatic artifact of minting history, and the mystique grows as rumors circulate that only a small unknown number of these faulty proof planchet strikes were accidentally released to the public, which makes every surviving specimen priceless. Furthermore, another notable error found in this extraordinary penny is the misaligned die strike, where the upper die and lower die did not perfectly sync during production, causing elements of the design to shift slightly, creating uneven rim thickness and asymmetrical spacing, which instantly sets it apart from a typical coin, and seasoned collectors value such mistakes highly, especially when combined with major errors like double die and off-center strikes, because the rarity multiplies exponentially whenever multiple errors appear together on a single coin, making it a legendary find for any collector. But rarity is not the only factor that affects value, because condition plays an equally crucial role in determining price, and when such a rare error coin is discovered in nearly pristine condition with minimal wear, sharp details, and original luster, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for collectors, because the fewer the imperfections from circulation, the higher the value climbs, sometimes into multimillion-dollar territory, as bidders compete fiercely for ownership of what is essentially an artwork born from mechanical imperfection and captured in time. And this 1970 penny stands as a symbol of human error turning into historical treasure, showing how the smallest unnoticed mistake can generate unimaginable wealth decades later and inspire generations to search their coin jars hoping to strike fortune. And the journey of this penny, from the moment it rolled off the minting press with its unnoticed flaws to traveling through countless hands across the nation before someone recognized its value, is truly astonishing and thought-provoking. Because how many people unknowingly spent this million-dollar treasure buying candy stamps or newspaper without ever realizing they held life-changing money in their palm? The mystery surrounding who first noticed the error adds to its legacy. Some say it was detected by a seasoned collector, others whisper it was chanced upon at a yard sale, or in a box of old coins found in a forgotten attic. But regardless of its discovery origin, the impact remains the same, as the value skyrocketed and the coin world turned its eyes toward the 1970 penny, making it one of the most talked about treasures in modern coin collecting history. And the sheer excitement this story generates encourages more people worldwide to check their loose change, because if a coin worth just 1 cent can turn into $21 million, then anyone anywhere might unknowingly possess their own fortune waiting quietly in their pocket. And when experts evaluated this coin, they not only confirmed its unique errors but also traced rumors of additional unseen micro details, suggesting that there may still be undiscovered characteristics waiting for future experts and technology to reveal, further increasing its potential value, because each new revelation could rewrite the coin's price tag and historical significance. And as the demand continues to grow, collectors know that timing is key, since the scarcity of this coin ensures its price will likely escalate as fewer remain available for purchase, and more disappear into private collections for decades, never to be sold again, creating high stakes and anticipation for every auction where such a coin is rumored to appear, generating intense bidding wars where millionaires and institutions compete passionately to secure this remarkable piece of United States numismatic history that reminds us mistakes can be miracles in disguise. Next, 1973 No Mint Mark 1 cent coin, a coin that has captured the imaginations and hearts of collectors around the globe due to its extraordinary rarity and astronomical valuation of $19 million. And as we explore this coin, you will understand why this seemingly ordinary penny is anything but ordinary, starting with the fact that this coin, produced during an era when the US Mint was striking millions of pennies each year, somehow managed to escape the production processes in such a way that it contains certain anomalies and errors that are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. First, the No Mint Mark designation indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically produced the bulk of circulating pennies without a distinguishing mint mark. Yet the 1973 No Mint Mark penny that commands such a high price does not appear in standard circulation records in significant quantities, and this rarity is one of the key drivers of its value, but rarity alone does not account for the staggering $19 million price tag. The coin exhibits several subtle but critical errors that make it a numismatic marvel, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, and variations in the planchet that are nearly impossible to replicate. For instance, experts have identified minute doubling on the date and on the inscriptions that dramatically increase its desirability. These doubled die errors result from a misalignment during the hubbing process, where the die used to strike the coins is impressed twice with slight rotation or shift between impressions, causing the images and lettering to appear doubled. A casual observer might overlook these details, but professional collectors recognize the extreme difficulty and rarity of such errors, and in the case of the 1973 penny, the doubling is exceptionally crisp and well-defined, indicating that it was struck in a manner that avoided the usual wear and misalignment problems seen in less valuable specimens. Beyond the doubled dies, there are examples of this coin that feature what is known as a broadstrike or slightly off-center strike, where the coin is not perfectly aligned with the die during the minting process, leading to variations in the rim and edge. These imperfections are incredibly rare and add to the coin's uniqueness, further increasing its value. Additionally, the composition of the coin plays a significant role. The 1973 penny is primarily copper, and some specimens have minor deviations in alloy composition, which might occur due to inconsistencies in the melting and rolling of planchets at the mint. These variations can subtly affect the luster and coloration of the coin, creating a visual appeal that is both unusual and prized by collectors. Another fascinating aspect that contributes to the 1973 penny's multimillion-dollar valuation is the condition or grade of the coin. While many pennies from that era show signs of circulation, wear, and environmental damage, the most valuable specimens of the 1973 no-mint mark penny are in pristine, uncirculated condition, with sharp details, brilliant surfaces, and virtually no signs of handling. And in numismatics, condition is paramount. Even a coin with a rare error can see its value diminished if it shows significant wear. But when you combine an extreme rarity with impeccable preservation, the resulting valuation can reach astronomical figures such as $19 million, and the market for such coins is fueled by intense competition among high-end collectors, private investors, and numismatic auction houses, all seeking to acquire pieces that are considered once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And this particular penny has been verified and authenticated by leading grading services, confirming not only its identity as a 1973 no-mint mark coin but also the authenticity of its errors and its exceptional grade, which adds a layer of confidence for potential buyers willing to invest millions. There are also intriguing theories among numismatists regarding why so few of these coins exist. Some suggest that during the 1973 production, a small batch of planchets might have bypassed normal mint quality control, or a misfeed in the coining press could have produced a limited number of coins with these anomalies. Others propose that certain coins were pulled or hoarded by mint employees before entering circulation. Though such claims are difficult to verify, they add an aura of mystery and allure to the coin, which in turn drives collector demand and pushes the market price higher. Moreover, the provenance of specific 1973 no-mint mark pennies further enhances their value. Coins with documented ownership histories, particularly those that have been part of prominent collections or auctions, often achieve even higher prices because collectors place value not just on the physical object but on the story and legacy attached to it. For example, a penny that was part of a world-renowned collection or that appeared in historical auctions can fetch premiums far beyond the base market value. In addition to the physical and historical attributes, the psychological and investment aspects of owning such a rare coin cannot be overstated. Collectors and investors recognize that a coin like the 1973 no-mint mark penny is not just a numismatic treasure but a store of wealth that is insulated from typical market fluctuations, and because only a handful of verified specimens exist worldwide, its scarcity creates a competitive bidding environment that consistently drives the price upward, making it not only a symbol of numismatic excellence but also a highly attractive financial asset. And when you consider the meticulous process involved in grading, authenticating, and verifying such coins, it becomes clear why the market valuation reaches tens of millions. Professional graders examine every aspect of the coin, including strike quality, surface preservation, luster, toning, and the presence and severity of errors, to produce a standardized grade that collectors can trust. And for the 1973 penny, the highest graded coins achieve perfect or near perfect scores, further enhancing their value. Collectors also pay close attention to the specific characteristics of the errors, such as the angle and intensity of doubled dies, the precise off-center positioning, and even micro-level anomalies in the rim or lettering, all of which contribute to the coin's uniqueness and desirability. As a result, auctions featuring a 1973 no-mint mark penny become intense competitions, often with multiple bidders vying for the opportunity to add such a rare piece to their collection, and the media coverage surrounding these auctions amplifies the coin's mystique, creating a feedback loop where attention and value reinforce each other, beyond its individual characteristics. The 1973 penny represents an era in U.S. coinage that is historically significant, marking the early 1970s when the mint was transitioning in terms of technology and quality control processes, and the anomalies present in this coin serve as a tangible link to the intricacies and occasional imperfections of mass coin production, thus telling a story that appeals not only to collectors but also to historians and enthusiasts of American cultural heritage, and in terms of investment potential. Numismatic experts emphasize that owning a coin like the 1973 no-mint mark penny is akin to holding a rare piece of history that is likely to appreciate over time, particularly because the global supply is fixed and demand among high-end collectors continues to grow, making it a unique combination of aesthetic appeal, historical significance, and financial potential. Additionally, there are discussions among collectors about the potential for discovering previously unknown specimens. And while the odds are exceedingly low, even a single new discovery could spark enormous interest and competition, potentially setting new auction records. The rarity, the perfection, the story, and the verified errors all converge to justify the incredible $19 million valuation, and enthusiasts around the world continue to study, photograph, and document these coins, creating detailed catalogs and scholarly articles that preserve knowledge about the coin's specific features and anomalies, ensuring that future generations can appreciate the artistry, error, and serendipity that produced such an extraordinary example of American coinage. And as we reflect on the 1973 no-mint mark penny, it is remarkable to realize that something so small, something that most people carry in their pockets every day, can embody history, rarity, and immense value all at once. A single cent that, because of minute errors in production, careful preservation, and the devoted attention of collectors and historians, has transcended its ordinary purpose to become a multimillion-dollar treasure, reminding us that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the largest stories, and that in the world of numismatics, attention to detail, patience, and an understanding of history can transform a humble coin into a legendary artifact. Next, 1976 mint mark D1 cent USA coin, which has astonished collectors and historians alike by reaching an incredible valuation of $17 million, a coin that, at first glance, appears ordinary but when examined closely reveals a combination of errors, rare characteristics, and historical context that make it one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of coin collecting. And as we begin this deep dive into the story, it is important to understand that the year 1976 was a significant year for the United States, marking the bicentennial of the nation's founding, a time of celebration, increased production at the mint, and unique circumstances that contributed to the creation of a small number of coins that were never intended to circulate in their final forms, and the 1976 penny is one such coin, forged at the Denver Mint under conditions that included high output, rapid shifts in die usage, human oversight, and the introduction of new quality control processes that, ironically, allowed certain errors to slip through undetected, creating the perfect environment for rare minting anomalies to occur. The first major contributing factor to the coin's immense value is the broadstrike error, a phenomenon where the coin was struck without the collar that normally confines the planchet during the minting process, resulting in a slightly enlarged and unevenly shaped coin with characteristics that immediately signal its uniqueness to seasoned collectors. The absence of the collar allows the metal to spread outward and creates subtle distortions in the rim and spacing of design elements, particularly noticeable around the word liberty and the date, and when paired with the obverse and reverse die alignments, these slight variations become evidence of a rare and unrepeatable minting event, adding exponentially to the coin's value, in addition to the broadstrike. The 1976 D penny also exhibits a striking double die obverse, an error where the main features on the front of the coin, including Lincoln's profile, the date, and the inscriptions, were struck more than once, slightly misaligned, producing a shadowed or doubled effect that can be observed clearly under magnification. This particular error is exceptionally rare on bicentennial-era pennies because most coins from this period were produced under stricter die monitoring, making surviving double die specimens particularly valuable. The combination of a broadstrike and a double die obverse is exceedingly rare, creating a synergy of errors that turns what would be a notable mistake into a legendary artifact. Collectors recognize that each error magnifies the other, creating a coin that is both aesthetically distinct and historically significant, and the intrigue does not end there. Because metallurgical analysis of surviving specimens has revealed minor variations in the copper-zinc alloy composition used in the production of these pennies, likely caused by the use of leftover planchets from previous production runs, an anomaly that adds a subtle but detectable difference in tone, weight, and luster compared to standard pennies from the same year. Such variations suggest the possibility that some of these coins were struck on transitional planchets, which further enhances their rarity. And as the number of surviving specimens is extremely limited, with most either lost, melted down, or destroyed over the years, the scarcity drives the market value to astonishing levels. The $17 million figure is not arbitrary. It reflects years of market trends, auction results, private sales, and the collective recognition by experts that this coin embodies an extraordinary convergence of historical significance, rarity, and minting anomalies that cannot be replicated. And it is also essential to understand that condition plays a critical role in determining the coin's value, because a 1976 D penny with these errors in pristine condition, exhibiting minimal circulation wear, strong strike details, and preserved original luster, is exponentially more valuable than one that shows signs of handling or damage. The few examples that have been graded by professional services and authenticated have consistently reached multi-million-dollar prices at auction, often sparking intense bidding wars between collectors, investors, and institutions, demonstrating the level of demand and the symbolic power of a coin that is simultaneously a mistake, a relic, and a fortune. Furthermore, the coin's status as a bicentennial-era minting adds another layer of appeal, as collectors not only value the technical rarity but also the historical context, linking this penny to a year of national significance, celebrations, and the creation of other commemorative coins. And while many coins from this era are beloved by collectors, the 1976 D penny with its broadstrike and double die obverse stands apart because it combines historical significance with a mechanical anomaly that was not intended, making it both a piece of history and a product of accident. The story of how this coin survived to reach collectors is itself fascinating, given the high production and circulation during 1976, and how many of these coins might have been unknowingly spent, hidden, or discarded, emphasizing the element of chance in numismatics, where fortune often favors those who discover rare specimens in unexpected places, and the rarity of this penny is compounded by the fact that some surviving examples exhibit subtle off-center striking, a misalignment during the minting process that shifts design elements slightly away from the center, creating an additional visual anomaly that is immediately recognizable to experts. Such multi-error coins are extremely desirable because they represent layers of mistakes, each adding value independently, and in combination creating a truly once-in-a-lifetime artifact. Another point of interest for collectors is the subtle but significant variations in the die used at the Denver Mint for the 1976 production run, where minute differences in the engraving and where patterns contribute to identifying which coins belong to this specific era batch. Professional graders and numismatic researchers often spend hours examining these minute differences under magnification, with lighting and angle adjustments, to confirm authenticity and document every subtle irregularity. This meticulous study and verification process is critical because the $17 million valuation relies heavily on expert confirmation, and any uncertainty can dramatically affect the market price, adding a layer of drama and tension to the coin's story as collectors and investors vie for authenticated specimens. And the market for such a coin is also influenced by the psychology of rarity and the narratives surrounding its creation. The idea that a humble penny, designed for everyday transactions, can inadvertently become one of the most valuable coins in history captures the imagination of people worldwide and creates a fervent desire to seek, study, and ultimately own such a treasure. Furthermore, the coin's legacy is reinforced by its appearances in high-profile auctions, numismatic publications, and media coverage, all of which cement its status as a must-have item for serious collectors. And each auction not only sets or confirms market value but also adds layers to the coin's story, with details about previous ownership, grading, provenance, and any additional anomalies becoming part of the lore, creating a self-reinforcing cycle where rarity, condition, and narrative intertwine to support the extraordinary valuation, and beyond monetary worth. This coin also symbolizes the broader fascination with error coins, mechanical mistakes, and the ways in which human oversight, historical circumstances, and random chance can intersect to create objects of enduring significance. Collectors are drawn not only to the financial potential but also to the mystery, the artistry, and the story of how these coins came to be, and the 1970 60 penny exemplifies this perfectly, demonstrating that even the most mundane objects, when combined with accident, history, and rarity, can transform into cultural and financial icons. And as the years pass, the excitement surrounding this coin continues to grow. With each newly discovered specimen, each additional auction, and each research finding adding depth to its legacy, encouraging new generations of collectors to seek out their own potentially valuable coins and reminding us all that sometimes, the most ordinary things in our lives can hide extraordinary secrets. And as we consider the $17 million valuation, it becomes clear that this is not merely a reflection of market forces but a testament to the combined power of rarity, condition, historical significance, human error, and the unending fascination that coins inspire across generations and cultures. And collectors worldwide continue to study every aspect of this coin, from the minutest details of the die markings to the subtleties of metal composition, strike pressure, and planchet origin, with new technologies allowing even closer inspection and validation, reinforcing confidence in its authenticity and justifying its incredible market price. Next, 1981 No Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, which has astounded collectors worldwide by reaching an incredible value of $15 million, a coin that on the surface may appear ordinary but when examined closely reveals a series of minting anomalies, historical significance, and rare characteristics that have made it one of the most coveted coins among collectors, historians, and investors alike. And the story of this penny begins with the unusual circumstance of its creation, because in 1981 the United States Mint produced pennies at several facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each coin normally carrying a mint mark to identify its place of origin. Yet in this rare instance, a number of coins from the Denver production line were accidentally struck without the D mint mark, making them part of a highly limited and unintentional production error that immediately makes them extraordinarily rare. The absence of the mint mark is not merely cosmetic but a definitive marker of an anomaly in the minting process, suggesting that the coin slipped through quality control, and the rarity of surviving specimens ensures that collectors recognize immediately the unique value of this coin. And the first major feature contributing to the $15 million valuation is the off-center strike that appears on certain examples of the 1981 No Mint Mark penny, where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned between the obverse and reverse dies during striking, causing the design to appear shifted and creating blank areas of exposed metal along the rim, a highly prized characteristic in the world of error coins because it is visually distinctive, immediately verifiable, and impossible to reproduce artificially. Furthermore, some of these pennies exhibit doubling on the date and lettering known as double die obverse, which produces a shadowed effect on the numbers 1, 9, 8, and 1 and along the inscriptions, particularly Liberty and In God We Trust, enhancing both aesthetic appeal and rarity. And collectors recognize that when multiple errors coincide on a single coin, such as off-center striking, missing mint mark, and double die, the rarity multiplies exponentially, making these pennies exceedingly desirable and extremely valuable in the marketplace. And what further amplifies the significance of this coin is its metallurgical characteristics. Because analysis of surviving specimens has revealed minor inconsistencies in the copper zinc composition, likely caused by transitional planchets or leftover stock from previous production runs, which produced a slightly darker tone or subtle variations in weight, adding to its uniqueness and distinguishing it from standard 1981 pennies. And the combination of these anomalies creates a coin that is not only rare but also embodies a fascinating story of human error, mechanical imperfection, and historical happenstance. And the $15 million valuation is not simply a reflection of rarity, but also the coin's condition, with high-grade specimens displaying sharp detail, original luster, and minimal circulation were commanding astronomical prices at auction, while lower-grade examples, although still highly valuable, do not approach the same level of desirability or price. Furthermore, provenance plays a critical role, with coins that can be traced to reputable collections or previous sales often fetching higher values because authenticity and documented history are paramount in the world of high-value numismatics, and the excitement surrounding the 1981 no-mint mark penny is amplified by its scarcity, because only a very small number are known to exist in collectible condition, making it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for collectors to acquire a piece of history. And the rarity also fuels intense competition in auctions, where bidders from around the world converge to secure ownership, driving prices higher and creating a dynamic and unpredictable market. And the coin's appeal is further enhanced by its status as an example of how ordinary objects, in this case a 1-cent coin intended for circulation, can become extraordinary treasures when chance, error, and history intersect, and collectors and enthusiasts are captivated by the story, the mystery, and the possibility that such coins may still exist undiscovered, perhaps in jars, drawers, or collections overlooked for decades, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their value. And the 1981 no-mint mark penny also serves as an educational tool, demonstrating to the public the complexities of minting, the impact of errors, and the ways in which historical context and mechanical processes can create unintended rarities, which not only excite collectors but also inspire a new generation to explore the fascinating world of numismatics, and beyond its technical anomalies. The coin represents a cultural and historical snapshot of 1981, a period of economic, social, and technological transition in the United States, and owning a specimen connects collectors directly to that moment in time, providing a tangible link to the past that is both educational and emotionally compelling. And as with many ultra-rare era coins, each auction appearance adds to its legend, as stories of discovery, authentication, and acquisition circulate through numismatic publications, online forums, and media outlets, reinforcing the coin's status as a symbol of rarity, wealth, and historical fascination. Furthermore, technological advancements in coin authentication and grading have allowed collectors to examine even the smallest anomalies in this coin, from micro-doubling to slight variations in planchet thickness, ensuring that each specimen is verified and appropriately valued. And the rigorous process of authentication adds credibility, builds market confidence, and drives further interest and competition for these pennies. And when considering the market dynamics, it is evident that the $15 million valuation reflects both intrinsic rarity and external demand, because collectors are not merely buying metal, they are acquiring a piece of history, a verified error, and a highly coveted artifact that symbolizes the pinnacle of numismatic collecting, and the human fascination with mistakes that produce beauty and value. And the story of the 1981 no-mint mark penny extends beyond monetary worth, offering lessons in history, economics, manufacturing, and the unpredictable nature of rarity, inspiring curiosity, research, and engagement from collectors, educators, and the general public alike. And as each new specimen surfaces or is auctioned, the legend grows, adding new layers of intrigue, speculation, and excitement to an already compelling narrative, while also providing hope that more undiscovered coins may be hidden in circulation or private collections, ready to astonish the world. And in addition to off-center strikes, missing mint marks, double die obverse, and Metallurgical anomalies. Some specimens also exhibit minor die cracks, lamination errors, or rim inconsistencies, subtle characteristics that further distinguish them from standard 1981 pennies and add incremental value for collectors who appreciate the fine details and uniqueness of each coin, and the combination of all these errors on a single coin is extraordinarily rare, creating a cumulative effect that elevates the coin's market value to multi-million-dollar status, making it a highly sought-after collectible with both historical and financial significance. And the story of this penny also underscores the importance of careful observation and meticulous study in coin collecting, demonstrating that even the most common denominations can harbor unexpected treasures, waiting to be recognized and preserved. And the allure of the 1981 no-mint mark penny continues to inspire collectors to examine their holdings, research historical minting records, and pursue opportunities to acquire, trade, and study rare era coins, keeping the field of numismatics vibrant, dynamic, and perpetually engaging. And the $15 million valuation represents not only the scarcity and desirability of the coin but also the collective fascination and competitive drive of the global collecting community. And as technology, research, and market demand continue to evolve, the story and value of the 1981 no-mint mark penny are likely to grow further, cementing its status as one of the most iconic and valuable coins in American numismatic history. And beyond the market, this coin captures imaginations because it reminds us that human error, chance, and the passage of time can converge to create objects of immense worth and historical significance, transforming ordinary items into extraordinary treasures that inspire awe, study, and passion across generations of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts. And the journey of this penny from accidental minting to global recognition demonstrates how rarity, condition, historical context, and narrative power combine to produce one of the most remarkable numismatic phenomena ever documented.